Let's go to All right, so let's get to the Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion. All right, so high level, remember what happened, right? Just we all know the story. Meg claimed again. We don't really. I mean, in truth, we don't really know what happened. But Meg's story
We
was
don't. And that's the truth of the matter, is that we really
we
don't
really don't.
know what happened. That's true.
Meg says she gets shot, but supposedly told the police that she got cut by glass. Actually, I remember that was her first story that she told the police,
A mess.
right? And then she came
So
out and
you're
said,
right.
"I did get shot. It was Tory." And then Tory was quiet, and now everyone, almost the whole internet took Meg's side. And then Tory comes out, was a couple of days ago, whatever it was, with finally, after staying quiet for I don't know how long, 2 months, I don't know how long it's been, drops his side of the story in an album. What do you think about that, Felicia?
Ooh, okay. So, from the top.
We have to unpack this.
Yeah, it's something you really, really have to unpack. So when you look at it from a totally unbiased perspective, we weren't there. So just like you were saying, nobody really knows. That's true. Nobody really knows what actually happened. And so while I am never, of course, I'm a woman, so I have to say I'm never a proponent of assuming that a woman is lying about some type of abuse, being received by the opposite gender.
Mm-hmm.
However, the fact that number one, there's no video, and number two, she initially told a different story, muddies the waters.
People forgot about that.
Because now
That's the good.
now you're thinking, okay, initially that's not what you said. So initially she said something, like you said, totally different. My understanding as well is that she told the police that she cut her foot on glass or whatever. I'm not sure how Tory even ended up getting arrested. I think they may have found the gun on him, and that's why they arrested him, even though she didn't say, oh, he shot me or I've been shot at the time. You're right. She later on comes out and says, yes, I was shot. But remember, she didn't right away say Tory shot me. She came out and said I was shot. And for weeks, I think, maybe even a month or more, she just kind of led people to believe that maybe he shot her, maybe he didn't.
Really?
Who knows? And then eventually she said, oh, yeah, he shot me. She came out and said, and truthfully, she really came out and said that he shot her, I think, because people were going in on her online.
Well,
they were going in.
Real quick, just a correction. To be fair, I do think that she was pretty clear. Beside the glass story, I do think she was pretty clear, pretty quick. Was that I know who shot me, you know who you are. She just didn't say the name. I thought it was pretty quick that she said that.
No. She said someone shot me. She did not say who.
No,
that's
she
what
didn't
I'm
say
saying.
who. Yeah. But
Yeah.
she said she kind of hinted I don't want to talk about it. You know what happened. And then she came out and was like, okay, y'all want to play with me? Let me tell you the real story. It was Tory. I don't think it was she stayed quiet for a month or one. I think she kind of put it out there that she got shot. But I don't want to talk about it until she said the blogs, and then people started questioning. She was like, all right, let me just tell you all the story. That's how I took it.
Right. And so, like I said, I'm a Meg fan, so I'm never making an assumption that she quote unquote did something wrong, But like I said, from an unbiased perspective, I do think it took her a while to come out. Here's what I believe. I believe that when you're a mainstream artist, like a Meg Thee Stallion or a Tory Lanez, right? I think there's a certain way that things should be done. And what I can't understand is why these artists refuse to use the tools at their disposal. Okay. So what I think Meg should have done is you decided to admit that you got shot, right? And that you weren't cut by glass. Have your publicist prepare an official statement in which you say, hey, I was shot by this person. However, I will not speak about it any further because there's an ongoing investigation. Done. Right? That deads all the nonsense and noise and drama. But there was so much nonsense and noise and drama going around. And I feel that she didn't silence it until it was starting to affect her reputation.
All right, let's move the camera to Tory. Why did he, if that's your question, that's what you're saying about what he should have done, which I thought Megan, if anything, did probably the best at the PR. What was Tory's deal? Why was he so quiet he didn't say anything. And then someone made a good comment. It's bro, you were on quarantine radio for 5 hours every day. And when the biggest story happened, you had no comment.
Yeah. So, again, it's funny that you think Meg did the best job, because I'm gonna tell you what, I think Tory did the best thing he could have done.
Really?
I think, yes. I think not saying anything at that time was the best thing he could have done. Now, here's where I think he messed up. I think this, oh, it's in my album stuff, that is gone off the deep end. Because I think, number one, it insinuates that you are trying, even if you didn't shoot her, let's say Tory Lanez did not shoot Meg Thee Stallion, it's still distasteful for you to make money off of a woman getting shot. Even if you're saying it's to clear your name, right? So I think initially, I agree with what Tory did. I think initially, police are investigating. You know, he was arrested for a large part of the time, right? I don't even know when he got released. So I think it made sense for him to be quiet at first. But what didn't make sense was him eventually deciding to put it in an album and capitalize.
But how is it that you're saying you think Tory did the best? I mean, because he actually, a lot of the internet turned on him because he didn't talk about it. And then you're also saying you didn't even like that he put in the album. So everything in this case kind of worked against him if we go with your opinion.
Well, I think, no, I'm not saying that I think that he did the wrong thing from the beginning. I'm saying that I think him not saying anything in the beginning was a good idea. It was. I'm of the belief that when things get to a certain point, I mean, when it's really bad for some of these celebrities, I think it is best that they don't give it any life. You know, I think for Tory, I don't know what he could have said at that time that could have made it any better, unless he was coming out to say, I did not shoot her. That's the caveat I got to add. If he's 100% innocent and he is saying that he's 100% innocent, which I don't think he said, by the way, I think he's insinuated things, but I don't think he's come out and said,
I agree with that.
I did not shoot her.
I agree with that. That's one. So
if he was going to come out and say, hey, people, I did not shoot her, then yes, I agree with you. He should have came out right away. But anything other than that, no, he should have stayed quiet. I think he did the right thing, unless he's going to tell us that he did not shoot.
Did you hear the first song on the album? Because you got to hear that.
Well, could you play it? Because I read some lyrics, but I didn't listen to it.
I don't want to play it for copyright, but you know what? I'll play it, and then because then we won't be able to.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that I get so caught up when we're talking that I forget that we're in YouTube world.
Oh yeah, they'll block.
Where you can't play anything.
I mean, they might play it, they might block it, you know, but you should listen to it. I think on your here. Actually, you know what I'll do? Real quick, let's go to Genius. Let me get some of the stuff, but. One thing I'll say, you should listen to it because, number one, there's a debate on how good it, like, how fire it was. Like, it was badass. Like putting everything aside, it was a fire track. Now, getting to the bars were, like, insane. Like, the stuff was, like, really, really good.
Listen, Tory is talented. I am not going to take that away from him. I think he is a talented artist. And quite frankly, it really hurt my heart when this whole thing happened because I like his music. Yeah, because the lyrics that I saw, he said, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was an insinuation. It wasn't an unequivocal, I didn't do it.
Right. And I thought that was weird. He said, how the F did you get shot in your foot? Don't hit no bones or tendons. And I remember that was like the whole social media.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so he's insinuating that it didn't happen, like, but Tory, you're not telling me I did not shoot her.
Right, I did not shoot her. You were there, bro. I mean, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. I don't know. I don't buy that.
You know, so I mean, and quite frankly, in my instinct, you know, my little gut feeling, do I think he did it? Yes, absolutely think he did it.
Yeah.
You know, yes, in my little gut feeling. But I agree with you that none of us were there. You know, so I don't want to quote unquote put him on the chopping block. You know, just yet, because I wasn't there. My instinct tells me that he did it. And that's because I can't see a scenario in which Meg would want to invent that. You know, like, I don't see why she would want to lie about that.
This is one of the biggest stories in hip hop. This is if this ever does come, I don't know if we'll ever find out the truth. I mean, when this does come out, man, this will be insane. And if he did it, and he dropped this crazy ass album, bullshit, you know, saying, "Oh, I didn't do it," and trying to insinuate that he didn't do it. My gut tells me that. So there's another story. There's another story, a narrative that she didn't, which is not excusing anyone, but she didn't get.
I know where you're going. Continue.
That she didn't get shot directly, right? Like that there were bullet fragments that hit her foot. I think that story when I hear all the different stories, to me sounds the most reasonable. Why? Because she started off by saying, "I thought I got hit by glass. I didn't know." That's what was her first story that people forgot. Then she said when the doctors looked, they found. I feel like and then she said, "I was confused." I remember her saying that in her post. She said, "We were shocked." I feel like, and then I don't think Meg Thee Stallion is the type to not tell the cops right away. So I almost feel like she wasn't. I almost feel like she wasn't fully sure what happened. But I feel like Tory was part of it. Like, I feel like he shot something. He shot somewhere in the vicinity. Something stupid. It hit her, and the story got spun.
Yeah.
And it's everyone wants to hide. Well, I didn't really shoot you. She's like, you shot me, mother. Like that.
And that version of events makes sense because, like you're saying, it fits both her narrative and his, right?
Yeah.
Because his narrative is, well, how you get shot, blah, blah, blah. Because truthfully, maybe he didn't actually directly shoot her, right?
Yeah.
And then her narrative is, well, I didn't even know I got shot at first. So yeah, the bullet fragment story fits both sides, but here's some of the other layers going on under there. So I don't know if you've heard, but out of the woodwork, there have been some people. I think there was an ex-best friend and an ex-boyfriend of Meg Thee Stallion's who have come out and alleged that Meg, when she gets drunk, when she goes to parties, when she's been drinking, she can get abusive, she can get violent, and she can get aggressive, right? So when that came out, people were like, wait, is Tory setting us up for the self-defense thing? So here's where it got even better. When those stories came out and people started eating it up, I mean, people were gobbling it up immediately. Well, Megan's legal team came out and said, we're investigating these stories online because we have reason to believe that Tory and his legal team have paid these people to lie about Megan. Very interesting. So it looks like he might be setting up a narrative in which he's going to say that he felt threatened by her. Remember, Megan is a stallion, right? That's her name. She's 5'10" and she's thick. And Tory, I think Tory's like 5'2", 5'3", right?
Yeah.
And he's a small build guy. So I can already see that's a potential narrative he's going to start developing, is a defending myself narrative. And then another backstory to that, because I'm deep on the pop culture folklore and the celebrity reputation and celebrity gossip stuff, right? So I'm originally from South Florida, and Tory dated quite a few Instagram models, IG models who live in Miami. Tory has a reputation in Miami for being abusive and possessive and crazy with women. He has threatened other women.
Wait, are you saying
allegedly
this is stuff you know firsthand?
This is stuff that I heard about in Miami from other people who are from South Florida. Like, oh, I know this girl such and such, and she told me she met Tory, and so this is people telling me. So this is not me being there, of course, but this is allegedly Tory Lanez has a reputation already for being abusive with women, for being possessive, and for threatening women with guns. There's a woman from South Florida who supposedly said that she got into a relationship with Tory Lanez. She wanted to break it off because he was being so weird and possessive, and he threatened to shoot her. He threatened her with a gun.
Listen, it's hard, right, to point. Listen, no one knows the truth. And again, I buy that. My story or my belief is that, my thoughts are that, like, he was with her, they were BSing some party, they got mad at each other, he probably had a gun, they just got some hostility happened between them, and he probably was like, whatever, like, not directly shooting her, but like, biatch, stop, or whatever, I don't know, what I'm saying, and just was like, just shot off bullets somewhere to look badass, whatever, which I'm not saying is okay, I'm just saying, whatever. I could be wrong, this is my story. Maybe she was walking away, like, yo, Tory, get the F up out of here. She's walking away. He shot some bullets somehow in her vicinity somewhere. The fragments probably unintentionally hit her. And probably there was like a shot, like, oh.
I see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa. Because I don't imagine he would like direct, not that that's okay either, but I'm just saying, like, I can't imagine directly. Right. But that could be why the whole thing is kind of like being very vague. And she probably was like, wait a second, bro, did you just like let off a bullet? Like she probably didn't even know at the time.
Just like she said, she didn't know. She probably didn't even realize, which makes sense because that's why originally she didn't say I was shot.
Like I said, that's how I see it. Looking back,
That version of events makes the most sense. I think that's probably, like you're saying, closest to the truth.
and knowing the person, like seizing, like sizing up the personalities, that's how I see it. And like then, like you said, also like when he drops his album, like he stays quiet. He probably knows
He makes
like
all these insinuations.
he never really shot her. So I don't know if
He
you
can't say I didn't shoot her
right.
because technically he did. But he's not going to say I did shoot her because technically he didn't.
Well, no, I actually feel like I think in the song I have to check. I think he says he doesn't shoot her, but again, I feel like again it's like if my story is true that he didn't shoot her directly, he shot something and then fragmented her. His version's like, but I didn't shoot you.
And that fits, and that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I'm saying?
And that also fits the alleged narrative of what he's done in the past.
Right.
With, threatening and pulling out the gun and waving it around and shooting other things.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
I said it here first. Let's see what's gonna happen if this ever comes out. But I really feel like that's probably what happened, and that's why this whole stupid thing is vague. But I mean, I don't know. That's how I see it. I mean, listen, I've had a hard time, and I think this incident has really put light on like I don't how you want to phrase it, like the male versus female kind of thing, like
Yes.
the
It has shed a lot of light on where we are as a society, I think. You know what I mean? When it comes to women and men and the way that we interact. I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of the comments, but people said some horrible things about Megan just because she said, I was shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, as much as you have the right to have your opinion that she's lying, she also has the right to tell her story. Everybody has the right to be heard. And people were so angry at her, like, oh, he shot you because you're a transsexual. What? I mean, let's say hypothetically she is transsexual, because I don't know if she is or isn't in a hypothetical world, right? That would make it okay for someone to shoot her?
No, and that and I didn't even know that was a thing. But you said last week something interesting when we talked about the WAP controversy was how women were the ones getting on the women, and they were the ones battling each other about what they agreed upon on the song. And I found that like what you're saying is like I feel like women are probably more getting on Megan, but believe it or not, guys are actually
more defending Megan.
No, I'm saying like how kind of, but like how women are like battling out like for or against Meg. Guys now I feel like are more so like there's a corner now. Guys who are coming out against Tory, like, yo, that's messed up. Yo, this kind of guy, he's BS.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's another people riding with Tory, and be like, y'all don't even know what really happened. Why y'all getting on him like that? Da da da. But like, I found it interesting how a lot of guys right away when Meg came out with her story denounced Tory. I didn't fully agree with that, only because, not because I agreed with one person or the other. I just felt like the stories didn't come out yet. But there were a lot of, like, even pretty big guy YouTubers who
denounced Tory right away.
Right away.
Yes.
I was like,
you're absolutely right. And a lot of rappers who denounced Tory right away. Now, again, the feminists are going to get the pitchfork from me on this, and I understand that. But I do not think it is fair to denounce someone right away based upon what someone else said. Now, I think it's fair? I think it's fair to listen to all perspectives. So, for example, I think it's fair to say, you know what, Megan, we sympathize with you. We're sorry that, what you say happened to you. We wish you all the best, right? And if there's any way that we as your community can be helpful, let us know. That's fine. But like you said, this denouncing of Tory Lanez when in fact he hasn't been convicted of anything, right? So he's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Mm-hmm. I guess we forgot about that, right? And also, I don't think there's video of this. So like you were saying, who really knows what happened?
Mm-hmm. This is a tough topic, man. I don't know. There's not much more to say, I feel, on my side on it. I mean, I kind of want to... Maybe some news came out in the past day, but I think that's the latest of everything. How do you feel about... I would say the last question is, how do you feel about... There's an argument about how he dropped this in an album. Do you think that was cool or not?
So that I disagree with. I do not think dropping this in his album was cool. I think it was extremely distasteful. Because at the end of the day, a woman was injured, right? That's really the bottom line. We know for sure that Megan was injured. So what would have been tasteful would have been a statement. Again, these artists have a team. My goodness, if you have a team, why don't you use your team?
Well, Felicia, his team was probably like, "Yo, let's do this in the album. We'll make more money out of it." Probably his team was probably
Right. No,
smart
I'm
though.
not saying that doesn't equal coins. Don't get me
You know what I
wrong. I'm
mean?
not talking about what equals profit. I'm talking about what would have been tasteful and respectful. Right. So I think what would have been tasteful and respectful is a statement. You tell your side of the story, right? And you leave it at that. But he went for profit. Hey, I guess that's his business. I don't agree with the way that he did it. I don't think it's tasteful. And I don't think it's respectful to the fact that a woman was injured and hospitalized.
I debated this a lot, in my own mind about whether I thought it was cool. So people were really debating this, and some people brought some good points. We're like, listen, like in all of hip hop, when these things happen, right? People went straight to the music, like Tupac and Biggie, right? Like they had real beef, but Tupac took it to the music. Biggie took it. It ended up in real life, but they took their stories to the music. I don't think that's something new. And I was like, that's a good point. My only problem with that, in my opinion, was Tupac took it to the music right away. So if something happened, he dropped and talked about it. Tory was very calculated about this, like really, really calculated
Very calculated
about how long
it.
he took to not say a word, not even drop like some kind of interesting hint, like I'm gonna tell this whole story. Like, guys, just wait for me. I'm whatever. It's like staying so quiet and then just dropping stuff. But that's one sense. In another sense, it's like, was it cool? I don't know, man. I don't know how well this album's gonna do. I guess we'll have to find out. I thought
We'll have to see because, like you said, quite a few people have written him off. I mean, quite a few people have denounced him.
See, I think if he dropped this right away, that would have been fire. Like, if he dropped this album, because it's interesting, but it's like, it was like an avalanche of Tory hate. It was just too long. People were like, yo, Tory, what's the deal with you? What's going on? He stayed quiet. So all this kind of like hate kind of built up and he drops this like album where it's kind of like, man, listen, ain't nobody trying to hear you anymore. Like, what are you talking about? But if he dropped like this song, like that week, people would be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like now people are like, you know what, Tory, we ain't buying it.
Yeah, because it took too long. And that's why I'm saying all these insinuations. If he was going to do this, he needed to come out and say, I did not shoot her. Period. Mm-hmm. No insinuations, no explanations, no. That's what he would have needed to do.
Yeah.
That's what he needed to do. But instead, he comes out with this album that's way too many days too late. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's a bunch of innuendo and insinuations. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Doesn't work for me. I don't agree with it personally. But like you said, we'll have to see what ends up happening. I do agree, though, that we could be a little bit fairer, more fair. Mm-hmm. There you go. A little bit more fair on both sides, because at the end of the day, we are supposed to be in a society where allegedly you're innocent until you're proven guilty, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm never in agreement with this immediate bashing and denouncing of people, because you just don't know. There's so many things that go on behind closed doors, and especially when you have so much money involved. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like in the end, Tory fans are going to be Tory fans, Meg Thee Stallion fans are going to be fans, and they're going to take the side of their, the musician that they like.
And I love Meg, right? But I'm the first person to say when I think Meg's made a misstep. Mm-hmm. But that's the difference in culture, because I believe you can be a fan without being a stan. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in standing. I believe in being a fan.
Yeah. No, and I'm a Tory fan too, and I'm a fan. I was, but I got thrown off by this, honestly. I'm not like a diehard Tory fan, but like I was a little bit like I was thrown off by what happened, and I don't know if I want to hear a whole album of you arguing about whether you shot this woman, like
I know for sure. I know for sure I don't want to hear an entire album.
Like, even as a fan, it's kind of like I don't know, Tory, if I really like care that. Not that I don't care, but like, bro, like, why you made a whole album? Like, just drop a song, bro, that about it and dead it. Like, I don't
call it a day. Exactly.
Yeah,
don't give it so much life.
Yeah,
just like I don't want to hear an album from Meg talking about how she got shot either. you know, and I'm sorry if that sounds insensitive, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't listen to Meg to hear somebody talking about, you know, them being a victim of a shooting. That's not that's not the vibe I'm listening to Meg for.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think these are the topics. This has been Rap Philosophy. Hope you guys enjoyed. Omar signing off.
Peace.
Peace.